No shooting now with the ball. Marshall trying to set the offense. Western Kentucky looks like still running a 1-1-3 defense, and reach-in foul called on Myers. That will be Myers' second foul of the contest, third foul of the game. Myers, 2 for 7 from the field. He entered the game 15th Conference USA three-point field goals made per game at 1.9, and he's already made 2 for 3 today.
Exactly, already hit that marker, Ben.
Spear trying to dance around a defender. It has Fuquay at the top. Less than 10 seconds left in the shot clock. There's 5 seconds. Landon Joseph. Joseph tries to get it down low to Eric Harding, and Eric Harding trying to get the two-hand jam. But when the ball was up, he was fouled by Boone. That's Boone's third foul, as Boone went into reach and smacked him in the arm as Eric Harding had the ball over his head trying to go for the dunk, and Eric Harding will shoot 2 free throws. He is 1 for 2 from the line today. The Herd 3 for 4 overall in the contest. Eric Harding shoots the first one, rolls in and out. No good for Eric Harding, as Harding scored 25 points and 14 rebounds last season in 15 games. He averages 4.2 points per game for the Thundering Herd this season. Second free throw, it's good for him. 1 for 2 from the line, and Marshall increases its lead to 6. 15-15 to go here in the second half. Eric Harding now has 6 points. And 2 of those 6 coming from the charity stripe, as shot coming from the baseline, driving baseline from Boone, no good. Jalen Spear trying to dance around a defender, 3 from the top. No, bounces off the back iron for finally being snagged by Boone of Western Kentucky, and Joseph trying to come from behind, trying to steal it from the left side of him. And it goes shooting out of bounds towards the near corner, past Ryan Myers, out of bounds. Western Kentucky ball. LJ Hackman checks in the game for Amello Boone. As Hackman, the transfer from Jones College, career high 4 points in the team's previous contest against Evansville. Hackman, all right, now has a new career high of 9 points today.
And Hackman playing a stellar game. We talked about him a little bit during the halftime show.
As Moore trying to go all the way and threw his arms right into the body of Eric Harding, and Eric Harding will be called for the foul. That'll be his second foul of the contest. Yes, they're going to say he tripped him. So it'll be an inbound for Meyer on the baseline, and Hank Plona wanted free throws but doesn't get them. Hank Plona, of course, the head coach of the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. Odiahi gets in the hands of Meyer. Meyer on the far baseline trying to drive up against Eric Harding. He dumps it down low, and it's stolen away by Landon Joseph. Landon Joseph to Otshuti. Spear, thought about 3, gets it over to Otshuti. Landon Joseph 3 from the top, rolls in and out. Attempted and finally rebounded by Odiahi for the Hilltoppers. Tegan Moore. Near corner 3, Hackman bounces off the side rim, snagged by Moore. Moore trying to get the second chance bucket. No good, but Tegan Moore head to the line to shoot 2. Matt Van Komen checks in the game. He's going to be checking in the game for Eric Harding, as Eric Harding now has 3 fouls, and he is in foul trouble. Matt Van Komen, he has to come back in the game for the Thundering Herd. Hilltoppers have not scored in 2 minutes. Marshall's not made a shot in 2.5. Tegan Moore at the line to shoot 2. He's an 88% free throw shooter. His first one is money.
And a tough attempt to finish there by Tegan Moore. Grabs his own rebound, puts his head down, and goes into Eric Harding, forcing the foul.
The exercise science major leads the team in scoring at 19.6 points per game and 6 blocks entering today. His second free throw is also good. He's 2 for 2 from the line. He has 6 today. 40-36 Marshall, 14 minutes ago here in the second half. Otshuti, right side, trying to dance around a screen on the left side. Pull-up shot, fading away, good for Noah Otshuti. He has 8. And it's now back to a 6-point lead for the Herd. It looks like it'll be Jones will be his running back on his right side. Claps for the third time now. He takes quarterback keeper on the near side, and he's going to be quickly swarmed and brought down by the Thundering Herd. And with the tackle for the Thundering Herd was Jajarius Clayton.
Yeah, Marshall has just been all over Old Dominion when it tries to do anything close. Old Dominion in desperate need of trying to figure out where it was at the beginning of the game. Maybe look to throw that ball deep down the field.
And Joseph takes the quarterback keeper trying to go down the middle. and is brought down at the initial line of scrimmage. So it'll be 3rd and 10 and brought down by the Thundering Herd by Josh Pierre-Louis.
And once again, it just seems like Old Dominion is wasting that potential that Joseph has with that arm, as he hasn't been the most mobile today.
And flags fly. 3 flags thrown by the heads lineman, line judge, and the umpire as somebody moved. And it will be false start on the Monarchs. Back them up 5, and it will now be 3rd and 15. As, of course, the receiver on the near side jumped before the ball was snapped. And a costly penalty by Old Dominion. And shockingly, that's the first penalty of the game at the 1:06 mark to go here in the first quarter. Marshall leading 7-0. So Joseph stays in the shotgun, claps once, claps twice. And now he drops back to throw. Pressure's collapsing, and he throws it, and it's going to be caught by a wide-open Trey Brown down the field. Touchdown, Old Dominion. Trey Brown takes it to the house, his second touchdown of the season. And over 70-yard touchdown throw from Colton Joseph, and the Monarchs just a extra point away from tying this thing.
Wow, and once again, Joseph, I mean, that's what I've been saying. The arm strength that he has, the potential to take it deep down the field, they really have been needing to find that place again. And finally, there it was, just the perfect placed ball as he started to take a slant towards where Joseph threw it.
And so Riley Callahan with the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. 47 seconds left to go in the first quarter, and now we are tied at 7 apiece following a 3-play 66-yard drive that took 1 minute and 11 off the clock. A 71-yard touchdown pass from Colton Joseph to Trey Brown, who entered the contest 9th in the Sun Belt Conference in receiving yards with 302, and is able to find pay dirt for the second time this season to tie this thing at 7 apiece. And that's the biggest thing that we have seen out of the ODU Monarchs this season. That is one big play on offense, and they're right back in it.
Yeah, I agree. And Old Dominion just finding it eventually. And, I mean, it's just such a wonder that Joseph, 2 passes, he's already over 100 passing yards at 118. Just an amazing potential with that arm and how deep he can find his receivers down the field.
So Riley Callahan to kick it off for the Old Dominion Monarchs. As he kicks it off, and it's going to be a deep kick, and it will land in the end zone. So it'll be a touchback. Marshall will have the ball on the 25-yard line.
Yeah, Old Dominion was getting down the field very quickly. No need to try and run it. You probably weren't going to get past the 20, so just take the touchback, start at the 20.
So Marshall now, after allowing the long touchdown pass by the Monarchs, having to try to get downfield and retake momentum before the Monarchs try to dethrone that momentum and swing it in its own direction. Addison Painter, the men's indoor and outdoor long jump record holder for the Thundering Herd, has officially been hired as an assistant coach at Marietta College. Painter returns to Marietta, where he spent the first 4 years of his career, where he was a 2-time NCAA Division III All-American in long jump. Painter says that returning to Marietta is special because of how it allows him to reconnect with his former head coach, Eric Putnam.
He's an open book. If I ever got a question about anything, I'm able to go in there and just ask him, and he's always going to be honest with me and tell me exactly how things are. He's also just a great friend. I feel like rarely do you get the chance to really build a friendship with your coaches when you're an athlete, and me and him were able to do that while I was here as an athlete. Being able to lean on that friendship and know that we have trust in each other, it's great.
Painter says the team situation between Marietta and Marshall at the end of the day is remarkably similar to each other.
They both live and breathe track and field, and at the end of the day, that's what I am, and that's how I feel. So being around that type of energy and that kind of love and passion for the sport is what I want, and they just want to build the program and be successful. In a lot of ways, Marietta is in parity with Marshall, where at this point in the program, we're kind of the little guy in the conference, and we're trying to build and make a name for ourselves. And so the same type of things that he's pushing for the team at Marshall are the things that we got to push here at Marietta.
Marshall Director of Track and Field and Cross Country Keith Roberts says that Painter is the type of assistant coach that attracts head coaches like himself.
If I had a position and I could hire somebody, I'd hire him in a heartbeat. He's motivated, he works hard, he's energetic, he's professional, he can relate to the athletes, he can relate to the administrators, he can relate to alumni. If you have somebody like that that's really dynamic, when he goes out and recruit, people are going to buy in right away. And he's honest. That's important, to be honest with people, and you could always trust that he was going to be honest with you.
Painter now sets his sights on building Marietta College track and field to the top of the NCAA Division III mountain and perhaps one day become the head coach of his own program. For FM88 Sports, I'm Ben Anderson. After all the success you had at Austin Peay, how difficult was it to leave the situation that you were at Austin Peay and then start a new challenge at Marshall University?
It was substantially hard. If I'm candid, there have been other opportunities that I were offered at other schools, and I didn't take them or pursue them because I always said it's going to be a special place to knock me out of this place, which was Austin Peay at the time, and it was because it was Marshall. President Smith always says to me, sometimes some places are jobs and some places are calling. And he said to be the athletic director at Marshall University is a calling. I have to echo that because something did speak to me that I could do some good work here and be surrounded by good people. Leaving Clarksville was very difficult. I was there for 7 years. The president is one of my best friends. We still talk every now. You still talk pretty much twice a week right now. The people in the community embraced me. I mean, there was 80s generally leave without a lot of fanfare. I think there was 3 parties thrown. One at the stadium, one at the president's house, whatever, to say goodbye, which made it even more difficult. But sometimes, like you're in sports broadcasting, the great John Ward, who was the play-by-play guy at Tennessee for so many years, when he retired, he walked up to the podium and said, "It's time." And he walked away. And that's one thing I felt like my time at Austin Peay. I think we did a lot of great things, but I could walk up to the podium and confidently say it was time. And Marshall University and this opportunity was the reason it was time.
Well, of course, and also one of the biggest things of being an athletic director is fundraising for your athletic department, and also just building connections with your donors. How long does it take to establish those relationships to have successful fundraising with your donors?
Well, the funny thing about that, if you go through industry standards, they'll tell you, like all the books on fundraising will say something like, yeah, it takes 6 months to work up to an ask, 9 months to get an answer, 12 months to land a gift. I never believed in being normal or trying to live in that thing. My thing is going and being authentic, making relationships, and tell the story. If you can be a great storyteller, if you can tell the story, the vision behind what you need the resources for, you can get it done pretty quickly. I've already met with several of our investors and folks from the Big Green Foundation. I met with people who support our efforts through NIL. I've met with corporate sponsors, and I tell them the same thing every day. It is a great day to run with the herd. You need to support Marshall Athletics. You're getting to know me, but you know this brand. You know these people. You know the heart of these people. So support that now. So to answer your question, it's not hard. It just takes a lot of work, and you go at it every day. And one thing I don't do is get tired. So that's where we are.
And also the other part is hiring coaches. Kind of say, what is your methods and approaches when it comes to hiring a coach to lead your athletic programs?
Well, the coach, number one, has to have the same understanding and belief. And I talked a little bit about the herd mentality, but they got to understand that we believe that our student athletes can be successful in all aspects. That doesn't just mean winning on the field, court, or what have you. That means you got to be dedicated to the community. I expect every one of our student athletes to have 25 hours apiece of community service, because you can't ask the community to support you if you don't support the community. All right, I expect our student athletes to have a minimum of 3.0 GPA. That's an expectation and a standard that we're going to set. The coaches got to believe that. We got to be ethically right. We're not going to, there's some people that don't do things the right way in this business. That's not going to be Marshall University or Marshall Athletics. So they got to believe in that. And they got to believe that they got to be better from the time they come on this campus. Whether it's 6 months out of the transfer portal or 4 years, they got to be better and more prepared for life after Marshall. If they believe that, that's step one. Now you can get in the door and we can talk. The next step, you got to have some grit. There's got to be something about you. Got to be ready to fight. You got to believe that, you know what, life is not always easy. Just like I talked about this community coming out of the ashes and doing, my life wasn't always easy. sometimes it doesn't work. Life is hard. You got to choose your hard. And I want a coach that's hard, chooses the hard in the positive way. They embrace it. It's a joke. You either run to it or you run from it. I only hire coaches that want to run to it. I don't need anybody to dial 911. I need somebody to go rescue somebody, let somebody else make the call. And that's the kind of coaches that I want to hire.